faith is not enough. You need faith supplements. Grace is not enough. It's not. That's why when the Apostle Peter wrote in his epistle, he said there are things you add to faith. If you remove them, you make shipwreck of your faith. For example, Paul the Apostle was writing about faith, that you need to add to faith a good conscience. It's a morally guided life. You have to have a set of values that are derived from the scriptures. Not just my truth, your truth. There's something like that. It's American confusion virus. I think Trump called the last one that came, he calls it China or Wuhan virus. That's my truth, your truth is American virus. And the disease is spreading. There's nothing like that. Biblical values balance grace with them. Biblical principles and values balance grace with those things. I have a book I published, The Transforming Power of Grace. I believe in grace. It's one of the most powerful truths in the scripture. Just like I'm a man of faith. It's in my DNA. But I'm also a man of values. I pursue righteousness. I pursue integrity. I pursue loyalty. I pursue honor. What you saw here is character quality. The day he was doing it to, Dr. Miko and other elders, that is. If you take it away, what we have is bankrupt Christianity. Morally bankrupt Christianity. Can't even do business with your brother. He will dupe you halfway. We created a key company out of the country. I don't want to. And delivering result in some high level. Issue of management came up. Everybody will recommend Indians. They are like this. They won't touch your money. They will not. You wonder why Dangote flooded his place with them. They say when integrity matters, when trust is needed, that the man has been in church for 20 years doesn't mean anything. Something is wrong, my friends. At the same time, have you met people that just take truth without grace? Very stinking, judgmental. They are so mean. The gospel that is merciless. The gospel that is compassionless. The gospel that is graceless. The gospel that is loveless. You meet them. Sometimes you prefer to run to the devil than to run into their hand. When they finish with you, finish judging you, finish you up, sometimes you even see the unbeliever is kinder in looking after a wounded brother. A brother that has been harmed. And that's why a lot of people are dying in silence. They don't know where to go. Because they tell their issue to somebody who is supposed to help them. He said, those of you who are spiritual, when somebody is wounded, when somebody falls, when somebody is overtaken by a fault, let him go to the ones who are spiritual. You should restore such a one in a spirit of meekness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted. But now, why are people dying with their sickness, dying with their disease? They don't know who to trust. Because believers are so mean. They are so judgmental, they are so whatever, because they take only truth. And truth without grace becomes a weapon to wound and destroy and harm people. So we now kill our own fellow soldiers. A true friend walks in on you when the world walks out on you. A friend loves at all times, but there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. And I'm not talking about false prophets. I'm talking about a covenant family. How can a man of God be happy that another man of God fell or another man of God was wounded instead of covering him and helping him, treating him, and helping him back on his feet? A friend of mine had divorce. I flew 3 times into South Africa to go and prevent the divorce at my own expense. And I will go. When I finish, I'm so happy because they reconcile. They've, all the differences. I got that first lady too, because I realized that there were some vultures that are feeding her with nonsense. Yeah, when Abraham was entering covenant with God, when he has cut the pieces, vultures came. No, you don't need a third party. He drove them away. Covenant is a very serious matter. And then I'll take off and fly back. And then the thing will last for 6 months, wahala everywhere again. I'll fly back again. I fought. I made sure that the church is stable so that nobody is, because divorce is like accident. Nobody starts a love life and plan. It's like you're traveling. Nobody starts a journey and plan to die on the way. Nobody starts their love life and plan to be divorced. Divorce is marital amputation. It's the last stage in treating marriage relationship. And those who dispense counsel should know it's the last. Amputation is after you have done everything to save that leg. You now get to the point now you realize that keeping the leg is detrimental to life. No, it's more important to be alive than to be married. Oh yes. Marriage is to serve life, not life to serve marriage. So if the thing becomes life-threatening and it gets to the point that, then even us that now do it is painful, both to the doctor, to the patient, to everybody, because you're going to carry that wound for the rest of your life. I don't care who jump into second marriage, third marriage, you are going to carry a scar for the rest of your life. So you don't recommend that lightly. Believers now are jumping out of marriage anyhow. One small thing, let me tell you guys something. Tomorrow morning I'll count down and do solid teaching. Today I'm going to speak. Let me tell you guys something. There is a reason why younger girls are attracted to elderly men. Go and ask Bianca Ojukwu that married that man at OA. And there are many of them I know. Because the elderly men bring stability, bring security, they bring wisdom. Probably their wife have died. But, so what happens is that the girl comes in there and she's just a baby girl enjoying her life. The man is just busy pampering her. Go and meet him when he was still young, when he married his wife. So there are benefits in that type of marriage, but there are disadvantages. Just like the case of Ojukwu, he has died now and left her. And that's not the only disadvantage. You might get to the bedroom and find out that some of the equipments are broken down. So you will need some assistance from some quarters. So you have all the cars, you have all the enjoyment. He lets you go to US for 6 months for horse and all that. So now let's come back to the marriage of the youth. 2 of you are young, maybe sometimes the same age, sometimes some few years in between them. That's the marriage that is hot love. Very interesting. But there is something you guys need to know. Ladies mature before men. That young man, you've married him, is still finding his way. He's still fighting to establish his destiny. Like Joshua, he's still fighting with the kings of Canaan. So he comes back home with a lot of things, with stress. He might be a minister, he might be a pastor. He still has a lot of challenges, and his blood is hot. One girl passes his office with some things behind. He gets his attention. I want you to know that. So sometimes there are some challenges that come up. But sister, calm down. The storm will soon be over. both time and wisdom and experience, the things he's going to go through in life, plus the word of God will soon fine-tune that man and bring him to a mature stable. The issue is that you think, no, because he spoke one day and you were hot. You want to jump out of the ship. That's not how your mother stayed in her marriage and gave birth to you. That's not how your father and your mother. They passed that season. Because marriage has 4 seasons. There is morning, afternoon, evening, and night. You might be comparing with somebody that is at the evening stage. He has passed the turbulent season. They have now entered a cruising stage. So, if you marry your young love, there are challenges. You guys have to grow through the season. If you marry the advanced guy, there are challenges. He will pass on and leave you behind. And when you get to the bedroom, you might have to draw the engine before it can work. Draw it. You know some of those generators that you draw, you keep drawing. When you finish, you fall. You draw it. Just because that young man went through 1 or 2 stumbling, he stumbled at one time. Maybe one secretary, maybe one thing doesn't mean he's fake. Just because that your husband maybe had 1 or 2 whatever, doesn't mean he's a fake prophet. Stay there and build that stuff. Know the disease that can be treated and stay and treat it. But have the wisdom to know, the discernment to know when this disease has gone beyond treatment, when it's now amputation. I have a friend of mine, his dad is from the north. His dad aged, he's over 100. He still has young wives, and he handles them very well. Yeah. So when I was much younger, this relationship had lasted for some years. Whenever we are around, he will be giving me some advice, and I'm a pastor, about some herbs that they take. The north is blessed, though. About some things they take and all of that. I said, sir, respectfully, I'm not interested. When I hit 50, I went back. I said, what is that thing that you were telling me about? He said, Pastor, are you the one asking? I said, forget that thing on. Pastor, no reach here. Oh, because you have to make madam happy. You have to do your job. The only one I've decided is that nobody will kill me. Second, third, fourth, fifth. No, forget it. I'm not in my 18 anymore. Forget about that one. Are we supposed to talk about this kind of thing in church, or we should just keep quiet? People should be dying. Take care of each other and take care of your family. Let me recommend this, because that's what happens. That's what we're practicing. When I found out that my fathers that we follow, from the Copelands to Kenny Haggins and all of that, that they balance faith with wisdom. I said, okay, I've been walking on one leg. Only faith. Health is a trinity. It's the balance between faith, the supernatural healing, natural healing. Did you hear what I said? Nature. and medical science. If you take care of your faith life and the natural side, you will reduce your need for doctors. So in other words, if you look at that natural thing, there are about 7 laws there. It starts with what you eat. You can imagine this morning, my coach drilled hell out of me. That's how I have the capacity to carry the level of mandate that is on my shoulder. And there are times I indulge, I break the rules. I'm telling you, I eat some. Pastor Sarah will tell you, no problem. The next morning, you have to go and get rid of it. So it's not just confessing, I'm going to live long, longevity. Where is the corresponding action?